It's been 48 days since the Panthers made the trade to move up from number 9 to number 1 with the Chicago Bears, and they finally picked their guy on first round overall draft pick for the 2023 draft. They decided to go with Bryce Young, quarterback up from the University of Alabama, the former Heisman Trophy winner. And it was a long process. These guys went through a long, thorough, drawn-out process, taking trips to all these pro days on the private jet, burning multiple gallons of jet fuel that can't be good for the environment. Regardless, they settled on Bryce Young. But they obviously broke down why they decided with Bryce Young and where all the thought process was. So in this video, we're going to discuss exactly what went into everything that came with Bryce and how much of a deliberation they made in between things and some stark takeaways from that post presser of something that made me want to take a pause about this whole process. We're starting right now. What up, dude? My name is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, bringing you a recap and analysis of the Carolina Panthers. On this channel, I do all of the above, film breakdowns, stuff like that. So I will be doing Bryce Young film breakdowns and draft pick breakdowns for all of our picks. So make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell icon. That way you get notification every time I drop a video so you don't want to miss anything. But down on the comments, I got to get a heat check on the fan base, guys. Let me know how you're feeling about the Bryce Young draft choice. I know there's some skeptics out there, but it's got to be some excitement too. I want to get your guys' true feelings down below in the comment. But like I said, the Bryce Young, he seemed to be the obvious choice as time continued to go by. We read the pro days. I dropped my videos about the feedback of what went down there, and it seemed like it was a toss-up. But according to the post-game presser, I want to drop a clip here to just show you how Scott Fitterer talked about when they decided on Bryce Young. Here's a clip.
First target, Young.
You know, I think, really a couple years ago when our area scouts went through, Robert Haynes went through, they really liked him then. And then just over the last couple of years, the study of him was something that they really felt strongly about. When we met in February, there was just overwhelming conviction for him during our draft meetings.
As you can see, they had conviction on Bryce Young for a while now. So all the rumors we heard about, I know my guy Curtis from Panthers on Tap talked about that they asked Scott Fitterer at a game a while back how they felt about the quarterbacks, and Bryce Young was the name that came up. We've heard Bryce Young's name float around even before the trade happened, but it seems like even before Frank Reich was hired, Bryce Young was the guy. And it seemed weird to like have the front office and the scouts decide on the quarterback before you even have your head coach. But I want to play this clip right here that shows exactly when that timing went down as well.
Coach actually had just gotten here at the time. He's in putting the staff together. He came in. He was a part of that. He heard it because we wanted him to hear how strongly these guys feel about him and what they know about him, kind of set the table for him so he can go do his evaluation with the staff. So we were a little bit further ahead. But throughout the process, he checked every box that we had. We tested him. We talked to him. We had dinner with him. And just every time we met with him, we felt more and more convicted. And we liked all the guys, but Bryce was a guy that we really felt strongly about.
And it's crazy to hear because you want to give your coach a chance to do it, and that seems like what Scott did, but they laid out all their cards on the table from the scouting department and him as a general manager. They said, hey, Bryce Young is our quarterback one. And as you can see, Frank Reich just said, yes, there's a lot of deliberating back and forth, but the tape is the tape. And the size is one thing as well, but the tape is the tape. Yes, you can put in the S2 scores, and we saw it was BS because C.J. Stroud actually ended up going number 2, surprisingly to some people. We thought his stock was dropping, so the S2 score didn't matter much. We know the measurables in the combine. We know AR had a great combine. We know C.J. Stroud had a great combine. But when it comes down to it, the tape is the tape. You can listen to all your favorite draft gurus all you want. It's all fun and games. But what it comes down to is a lot of these experts don't know how these coaches feel. And at the end of the day, you can talk about all the little cute window dressing, but it comes down to, is the tape quality tape? And on the tape, according to them, according to me, according to a lot of people, Bryce Young is just the best quarterback on tape. But a lot of things that go into it, because obviously our owner had a good big say-so in it. And even he had a hunch about his timing of when he thought Bryce Young could be the guy. Let's play the clip.
So I got on the phone and I said, I saw Bryce at the Super Bowl. You see a bunch of these guys at parties and such. So I saw Bryce and I said, I said, Bryce, remember when we were at the Super Bowl? I told you we were going to pick a quarterback, and I wasn't kidding. And I said, you want to trade us some Sweet Home Alabama for some Sweet Carolina? So he was just excited. He was like, I don't know if you could see him on the screen. He was like a little tenseness in his face, but then he was like, you could feel him just like, so happy.
So as you can see, David Tepper was planting seeds. He was planting little seeds with Bryce Young, talking about, hey, we're taking the quarterback, right? Hey, it might be you. And Bryce is probably like, dog, y'all number 9. You're not picking me. Until that trade went down. Once that trade went down, things got a lot more realistic. And the Panthers website really laid it out pretty perfectly how they felt. It seems like Bryce Young was always the guy. He was the reason why they moved up. They were open to move into a 3-team trade where the Panthers would go up to number 2 after the Bears did a pick swap with Houston. So Houston with them at number 2 would swap with the Bears. Houston would go up to number 1. They would take Bryce. And then the Bears would trade with the Panthers. And apparently, from what I understand, AR would have been that guy. However, the Houston Texans kind of messed around a little bit with it, and David Tepper applied pressure. He said that he was a trader with the stock market. We know he's a hedge fund manager, and he likes his trades to go down instantly. Doesn't have a lot of patience. So he said himself that he was worrying, being pushy on Scott Fitterer, and they kept pushing the button for the Bears GM. And then with Houston messing around, they decided to say, hey, the only thing that was required to go from 9 to 1 instead of 9 to 2 was an extra second-round draft pick. DJ Moore apparently was always going to be the X factor because he was the better wide receiver out of all the other teams that were trying to trade up, and that's exactly what the Bears wanted for Justin Fields. So being able to offer that extra second-round pick plus the DJ Moore was enough for us to move it to 1. And with that, they had conviction with Bryce Young the whole time. They were going to give other quarterbacks a chance to convince them that Bryce wasn't the guy. Nobody ever did. Every time they brought Bryce in, from what they're saying, he impressed from his demeanor, his delivery, the tape, his parents, his background, his preparation. They tried to puzzle him with a question about something to try to stump him. Scott Fitterer said that they asked him about his process to prepare for a game, and he said that he started on Sundays. Yes, the day after a Saturday game when you probably win, you're probably the head coach, the head guy in charge at Alabama being the Heisman winner and the quarterback. You can go party. You can go get all this glory. You can go turn up with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Young was preparing for the next week that following day. So that just lets them know that he's already in that mental capacity to prepare like a professional, and that was enough to convince them. Not to mention all the endorsements from all the Hall of Fame players like Deion Sanders recently, and even Cam Newton said that Bryce Young should be the pick. It's clear and obvious that Bryce was the pick. I know some guys feel strongly about C.J. Stroud, some about Anthony Richardson, but the consensus seems to be that Bryce Young was always the guy. So it kind of is what it is. You guys let me know down below in the comments again how you feel about the Panthers, feedback about what they thought about Bryce Young going into this process and how he was that top guy all along, and they have no reservations about the size like many people do. Let me know how you feel down below in the comments. But without further ado, my name is Aaron Duncan with NSA Abundant Sports Talk. I'll see you next time. Peace.